Hello and welcome to the Matthew Alton Art channel again. Back with another video. You may be able to tell from the drawing out that I've done of this painting that it's a still life. It's an oil painting and it's on a small 6x8 plywood panel with a wooden frame mounted at the back to stop it from warping. When the video started, you could see me just covering the surface with some gessoed medium, which I used to sort of make the paint flow better. To be honest, on plywood I probably didn't need to do that really. I use that when I'm using Arches wheel paper because that's more absorbent. So if you put the gessoed medium on first, it sort of stops the first layer of paint being quite so absorbed into the surface. But I did it here anyway because I've been using paper recently and that's what I've been doing recently, I guess. I apologise for the painting moving around in the frame a little bit on this video. I think most of the detail is captured. You can probably tell that it's a bowl of cherries. The painting is actually a commission. I was at an exhibition a few weeks ago in May of 2026, and one of the visitors liked a greetings card that I had done of a similar bowl of cherries about 2 years ago, I think, really. But obviously that had sold quite a while ago, and was interested in commissioning me to paint another one of the similar colours. It was the colours, I think, that attracted her to the original greetings card. She's a fellow artist, so that's a compliment indeed, that another artist likes your work enough to want to commission you. I historically haven't done many commissions really. I have done a few, but it's quite a scary thing for an artist to do in that you don't know what's in the head of the person that's commissioning you. But this customer was particularly easy and said as long as I do what I do and it's sort of similar colours, then any cherries would do. I would have done a totally new sort of composition with cherries, but cherries were out of season. They're just about coming into season now, to be fair. So I returned to the photos that I'd taken to do the original still life of the bowl of cherries, and I used the photos, looked through the photos and thought I could do a crop of the same sort of arrangement that I'd done before. I don't normally do crops of still lives. I sort of focus on the whole object that I'm painting. But I messed around with the photos that I'd taken back then and thought, rather than just recreate the original Cherries painting, which would have been fine, I could have done that, but I thought I'd try something different. And I think the actual crop of this still life is quite successful, so it's probably something that I will return to over the next few weeks and months. You can see that I'm using quite a small brush for everything on this painting because it's a small painting. And I'm just building up gradually, each layer by layer. I always love putting the highlights on things that I'm painting. It sort of makes the whole thing ping. For such a small painting, it took me quite a long time. I suppose I was being extra careful because it's a commission and wanted to get it right. But it was about getting on for 5 hours, I think, including the drawing out. The surface of the plywood, by the way, is white, as you can see, and that's because I gessoed it, which helps the paint stick to the actual plywood surface. The customer saw similar small paintings on similar plywood panels, so I knew that I was going to do a small painting for her and that's what she wanted. And I work small generally anyway. So put in a base blocking out colour for each cherry in the bowl now. Looks a bit garish at the moment, but of course a lot of that is over painted. So you get this sort of brighter pink colour showing through in places. But it's very much subdued over time. Just the blocking out stage really. Using my trusty bigger brush there to lean my hand on so that I don't smudge the work that I've done already. It was done in 2 sittings though, and usually it started to be the case that I'm working in more than 1 sitting. I used to just work a la prime in 1 sitting, but I sort of did a few hours on this and then had a break. So I think this is the 2nd sitting, and I think that the first cherries in the background layer was fairly touch dry, I think, really, by the time I started a few days later. I've since sent a photograph of the completed painting to the commissioner and have been paid for the work, which is great. They were very pleased with it. It's always a worry when you do commissions that they don't like it for whatever reason. But definitely, yeah, satisfied customer for this one, which gives you confidence to carry on doing them and do more of them. I didn't hesitate when she asked if I did commissions. In the old days, I probably would have done, but I'm confident enough to sort of have a go. I'll probably return to some cherries in the next few weeks because it's something that I quite like painting, and now they're coming into season, I'll be able to take some more reference photos. That's one good thing about working from photos. A lot of people frown on artists that work from photographs, but I wouldn't have been able to do this painting because cherries are out of season at the moment. So having the photos already meant that I could do this painting. And when I take the photos of the cherries over the coming weeks, I'll have some different cherry photos to use in the winter, for instance, when cherries certainly aren't in season. Using photos, of course, also means that you're not coping with changing light conditions, and especially working over more than 1 sitting, you can get changing light quite dramatically over that time. So it works for me. And I'm fairly good at photography as well, so I can take what I actually want to take, you know, a fairly decent photograph that isn't bleached out or too light altered from the actual thing sitting in front of me. Are you artists yourself? Do you do commissions regularly, and have they all gone okay? You know, horror stories. I have heard some horror stories from some people about people who've commissioned work and then basically got the artist to repaint it several times because the colour was wrong or whatever, which I think is awful, really. But so far so good for the few that I have done. I do love the pops of green against all of the reds and purples as I'm adding the stalks here. And the shadows there of the stalks on the side of the bowl. I didn't think the exhibition where I came this commission was particularly successful. I didn't sell any original paintings over the weekend, which is unusual. I normally sell 1 or 2, but I didn't sell any. And it's selling the paintings that sort of makes it worthwhile, with the table costs and the commission costs. to the Art Society in the case of this exhibition. But it did turn out to be okay in the end, because I got this commission that all worked out fine. So in effect I did sell one. You never sort of can tell when you exhibit what might come from that. You know, a lot of people pick up business cards and buy greetings cards which have got the contact details on the back and that sort of thing. So you never can tell. It's always worth doing, even if you don't sell anything. It can be very disheartening when you don't sell anything. Obviously, it's time consuming sitting there for 3 days talking to people about your art. And it would be nice to think that you could sell a few to make that time spent worthwhile. But, you know, sometimes things do arise after the event. I'm not really talking through my process here very much for those people that watch my videos from that point of view. But I mean, you can see how I'm basically building up on top of each layer until something arises that looks like the actual reference photo in this case. As I say, using quite a small brush. Again though, by the end, the painting isn't photorealist. It's definitely a realist painting in that it looks like a bowl of cherries, but it's not, you know, a photographically perfect painting, and I'm not interested in doing that really. And interestingly, one of the Patreon members has noted that this looks sort of identical in most ways to the one that I did a couple of years ago, in terms of it looks like my sort of painting, as in my style, I suppose, which is a good thing. And the commissioner for this painting was quite specific about wanting to match the colours that were in the original painting. And I didn't sort of let that worry me. I just painted the same subject from a similar photograph. I don't know if it was the exact same photograph that I used before. And because of the way that I work and the way that I mix colours, it naturally turned out to be the same sort of colours that were in this painting as on the original one. But the brush strokes are still visible in this painting. You can tell it's a painting, but it looks like a real subject with real lighting on it, which is what I'm always aiming for really. I'd had a little break from doing still lives, so it was nice to get a commission to make me do another one really. I've been doing portraits recently. Those of you that have followed the channel will have seen my little sketches in my portrait sketches in my sketchbook recently, and I'm going to continue doing those for a little while as well. I'm sort of quite happy with how my likeness is improving when I do portraiture, so I want to keep that sort of practice up for that as well. I found the bowl quite difficult because there is some sort of subtle reflections on it and subtle shadows as the bowl was curving away from the light in a very gentle way. But by the end, I think I sort of managed to get it looking like the bowl was. And those stripes, getting those to sort of be the right shape to highlight the form was quite... You have to be careful about it, I suppose. Very much coming towards the end of the 2 sittings now. There's always quite a lot of tinkering at the end, and it's just about observing the reference, whether that's a live, still life setup or whether it's a photograph that you're using, and just changing things that slightly show up for you as obviously not wrong, but need tweaking slightly. And there it is being signed, although I make a mess of it, so I think I'll rip it out and start again. Well, this is the final painting, as you can see. Very pleased with it overall. I'm glad I spent the extra time, as it was a commission, in doing it. The customer was really happy, as I said earlier on in the video, which always is a relief when you're doing a commission for somebody. And it's ready to deliver. I've just got to varnish it when it's touch dry with Gamvar varnish. I use satin varnish, so it's not particularly shiny. And you can paint that on once it's sort of touch dry, which is great because it protects the surface and allows the painting to continue drying until it's fully dry in a few months' time. Right, well, I hope you've enjoyed that video. If you have, then do give it a thumbs up. If you've got any questions about it, then please do write them in the comments. If you want me to paint something for you, then I'm open for commissions, as you can see on this video. So do get in touch with me and we'll discuss what you want. And if you're new here and haven't subscribed, then do subscribe. That will help the channel grow. Okay, well, I will see you on the next one. Thanks for your time. See you soon. Bye.